Hello, my name is Landon, and this is the Genius Channel. Today we're going to talk about the first Easter. So God had a son, which is Jesus. Jesus was born in Bethlehem and grew up in Nazareth. Jesus did lots of things. He fed the 5,000, fed the 4,000, raised a girl from the dead, raised his friend Lazarus from the dead, and many more, like walking on water and calming storms. He had 12 disciples. The other 11 got to be the 11 apostles because they did not betray Jesus. The 12th one that did not become the 11 apostles was Judas. The Pharisees and the other people with other religions did not like Jesus and his teaching. So they hired Judas to betray Jesus. When the 12 disciples, including Judas, went to have the Last Supper with Jesus, of course they didn't know it, except Jesus. Jesus said, "One of you will betray me." The disciples were very upset because they were shocked to know. They keep asking, "Am I the one?" Judas asked, "Am I the one?" Jesus said, "Yes." And then Jesus said, "Go." And then Judas left to betray Jesus. When Judas left, Jesus got a piece of bread and thanked God for it. He broke it in half, and then he said, "This is my broken body to you." Then he passed it around for everyone to eat the bread. After that happened, Jesus got a cup of wine and thanked God for it. Then he said, "This is my blood for you." Then he passed it around and let everyone drink the wine. The 11 disciples, except Judas because he was busy planning to betray Jesus, and Jesus went to a garden while the other disciples went to sleep because it was night. Jesus was praying to God. Then Judas came with an army that woke up the disciples, and Jesus stopped praying. So when Jesus came to Judas, Judas kissed Jesus to know what he was arresting. So when Jesus in the morning, he went to the high council. The Pharisees were there, and the Pharisees asked, "Are you the Son of God?" And Jesus said, "Yes, I am." That made the Pharisees angry, and then he said he was guilty. The Roman guards took Jesus and with the Pharisees to Pilate. Pilate already put two criminals on 2 crosses. So the Pharisees told Pilate that Jesus was claiming to be the king of Judah. Then Pilate didn't think that Jesus did anything wrong, and he said he will be punished, then be released. That made everyone else, including the Pharisees, very angry. They were yelling louder and louder, "Crucify Jesus! Crucify him!" That pressured Pilate so much that he said that Jesus will be hung on the cross. Jesus got beat up, spat on, his clothes were tore off. Then the Roman guards put a crown of thorns over his head. He was so beat up that he can barely stand up. Then he had to carry his cross, and he was so beat up, and he needed someone to help him. Then they placed him up and nailed him on the Skull Mountain. Then he saw two other criminals. One criminal was laughing at him, and then another one had said, "Please help." And he said, "Please help me." And then he agreed. Then at noon, darkness arose of all the land. Then he gave his last breath, and then he finally died. The earth trembled. Then the curtain between the priests, separated from God's holy word, broke in two. Then a guard that was already standing there that said, this man really was the Son of God. Then a man named Joseph put Jesus' body in a tomb. Then he closed it, and it seemed there was no hope. But people that loved Jesus went to the tomb, and they saw that Jesus' body was not there, and the tomb was already opened. Then the angel said, "He has risen." When the woman told the disciples at their house, they went to Jesus' tomb and only saw his burial cloth. They went back to the house and saw Jesus. And Jesus told them that he died and resurrected, and then you will live after. And he said, "You will live after age in heaven." And that was a happy and sad story of Jesus. This is Landon. I hope you enjoyed the story of Easter. See you next time on the Genius Channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and set up notifications for new content. See you next time.